G'day folks, Beanie here again, and I'm taking this drawing to the next level. I'm going to refine it and put in the core structure of how the flesh and muscles and all that would probably look on the Spinosaurus, which will require me erasing some parts, but I liked how this dinosaur looked. I liked its skeletal pose, so that is why I'm using it as a source reference image. Let's see how we go. So that's the neck. I also have to make this video quick because I have to be out of the house in the next 15-20 minutes. So I've got to try and do 15-20 minutes worth of drawing quickly. The shoulder would be like there, because that's the shoulder. The shoulder bones usually show up in all animals, so that's why I'm going to keep the shoulder in. The muscle would probably go like that. I am going to softly, as best as I can, erase. I'm going to try and lightly erase a lot of the skeletal structure now. So I'm just going to use my trusty Faber-Castell eraser. I don't want to erase all of the image, just enough to make it lighter. I should have drawn it light to begin with, but that's okay. Right, that gives me something better to work with, so we'll put in the muscles. I'll probably time-lapse this part, to be honest. We'll see how we go. So that would be the ankle and wrist. Not ankle, that would be the wrist. The ankle is on the leg. Put in some lines for the rib cage. Probably the thigh would go there. Make the leg bone a bit lighter. Right, so that would be the knee. Put in the muscle for the thigh. And then a lump for the top of the hip bone section. The tail will be incredibly easy because, I mean, the shape is more or less already there in the skeleton that I'm using, so I'm going to draw the shape of the tail. So there's that. Now we'll do a bit of the calf and the lower leg for this particular leg. I'm going to try and draw in the hand. The claws are big. The claws would have been used for fishing. To be honest, I actually have learnt from the comments from another video that Spinosaurus may actually have been, I can't pronounce the word off the top of my head, quadrupedal or something. Like, its legs are apparently a lot shorter than I ever thought they were, and it apparently walked on all four legs like a crocodile. So that's something I wasn't aware of, but this skeleton that I'm using as a reference image, it has the longer legs and the more typical Jurassic Park 3 kind of style look to it, so that's the one I'm using. So it might not scientifically be correct, but hey, Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor weren't scientifically correct in Jurassic Park either, and I can forgive that. So, right, that out of the way, I'm going to put in the finger joints. probably got, let's see, I'm just going to have a quick look at my own finger to imagine how the padding would go. So that is my joint. That's a joint. That's a joint because the finger's folding. When the padding of your finger is out like that, it goes flat. When you stretch your finger, or when you push your finger in, the padding goes lumpy like that. I thought the lumpy bits would be here, but it seems the lumpy bits are there. So I know that that is how to do it in this picture. So that's a joint. So we'll put the lumpy bit there. We'll erase that little part. And we'll put the lumpy bit there. And here is the other. Okay, so it's only got two joints in that finger. And there's got one joint. So like here's the joints of your finger. So I'm doing those kind of lines, the joint lines in the finger, I'm doing those. Here, and then here. So it has 3 joints in the finger structure of its skeleton, it appears. And it could possibly actually have, does it have 3 fingers or does it have 4? I can't tell by this reference image, so I'm just going to draw how I see it, which is it has 3 main fingers. So I'm going to draw that finger. That finger looks to have even more bones in it. Interesting. Okay, well, now we'll do the padding for that finger, and the padding for that finger, and then the padding for that finger, and we'll give it a bit of a lumpy bit there for the claw. This is going to be another long video, so bear with it. This video may end up being about 20 minutes. I'm sure people don't mind that too much. I've noticed that my 20-minute videos are getting just as many views as my short 3-minute videos, so I might do 2 versions for those who like 2 different versions. Seems to be the best way to go about things. So there's the chest. There's a big pocket of air around here, because the ribs kind of finish up around here. I'm going to put its stomach area down here, because if you've looked at it, say a horse skeleton or something like that, you'll notice that okay, quick explanation. A horse, okay, 4 legs, head, spine. Its rib cage kind of goes like that, but its body goes like that. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that section here. So I like where that stomach is situated. I'll keep it there, and this will be where I'll put some scales down the track at some point. This is going to be the other knee. That leg is going to be behind that arm. The feet will be a little bit of a challenge, so I'll tackle that later. Its arms seem to be very muscular. Based on the size of the bones, I'm only imagining that this dinosaur actually has quite thick arms. So I'm going to draw it that way and see how it goes. Possibly thick, bony arms, because scientists believe that the Spinosaurus and its similar relatives lived in water and did fishing. So I'm imagining its arms would need to be very big and thick and muscular, because, you know, if you put your hands through water, water gives a lot of resistance. So to be able to catch onto its prey, it probably needed thick, strong arms, I'm guessing. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm right. Otherwise it might have not even... Well, it's got big claws. I can only imagine that the big claws are for, you know, catching onto fish. But it might have just also caught fish with its mouth, like just going arm. Yes, this video also comes with sound effects. Arm. Okay, so now I'm gonna put in some finger joints and a bit of a knobbly bit for the claws to come out of. How are we going for time? I can squeeze in another 10 minutes, I think, because I need to give myself half an hour to walk to my location. I've got an appointment that I need to attend. So, claw the finger joints like so. I think there could be another finger, but I'll leave it as is. I think actually I want to have, because it seems like its hands are in slightly rotated positions. To give you another brief idea, I'll just do a very quick little thing like I did here. I think its hands, one hand is like, okay, one arm is like that, one arm is like that. One hand is like that. This is profile format too, by the way. And the other hand is like that. So, twist it around this way. Its fingers are kind of like that. And this hand would be more like that. So I think I have to bring these fingers up a little bit more. Because that, one of its fingernails seems to be located higher than the other claw. So I'm going to draw like that. See how that works. Yep, that seems to be alright. Can always refine it down the track, which I probably will. Now let's just erase these little explanation sketches. Alright, so that's its arms. Looks like it's kind of going for a grab in the water anyway. Let's do the spine. This will be incredibly easy. For me anyway. I'm just going to start off with the indication of where the spine bits finish. So spine bits, spine bones. And then I'm just going to give them little knobbly bits up there. And because I've done multiple Velociraptors, I've done multiple T-Rexes, probably will do multiple Indominus Rexes and lots of dinosaurs. So you're getting more Spinosaurus, and you know, there's going to be a whole bunch of other dinosaurs. I'm going to be doing Gallimimus and Allosaurus and so many other dinosaurs. So just, you know, I do read the comments. I do know what you guys want me to draw. There, just keep subscribed and just watch throughout time, and you'll see your favorite dinosaurs being drawn. I'm sure of it. So I'm just gonna give it a bit of a three-dimensional edge. So, like so. Then I'm going to give it a little bit of a line there, and then I'm just going to kind of put the shape of those spines up like so. Not too bad. Not too shabby. So that I'm happy with that. Right, probably we'll try and tackle the feet. See how we go here. The claws, kind of the toenail claws. I like to draw the toenail claws first and then build the rest from there. So I like seeing where the toes should go and then connect the toes to the rest of the dinosaur foot. So these will be the connecting parts, like I was saying, around here where the toes would bend. So you put the line marks where those toes would bend. Gonna put some padding under its toes, and then around there will be all that's the scales that I usually draw. I'll draw it briefly here, but I'm going to put a lot more detail into this later. And that will definitely be time-lapsed. Maybe. Well, who knows. Just have to find out and watch these videos and see how it goes. I think that foot's kind of okay. I could probably draw it a bit better. I'll put in that too. Maybe it's because I made the padding too thick. Maybe I just wanted them to be pointy feet as opposed to thick padded feet. Who knows? Actually, yeah, I do like it better. Let's, I'm gonna use my thinner eraser just to erase that little part, that little part. Make him look a little bit more like chicken feet rather than, I don't know, whatever the alternative is. That seems to be better. So there we go. Gonna put in a claw there, and the ankle kind of goes around there. Its ankle is there. So yeah, I don't mind how that foot looks. I'm gonna just give it a bit of a perspective line just to indicate that it's in a three-dimensional space. Basically, for no reason other than the fact that I just want to see it kind of in a three-dimensional space. It makes no difference to your drawing at all. So there we go. And now for the final touch. Oh, I just knocked the keyboard. And now for the final touch. I'm sure I can do this in 5 minutes. I'm going to do the head. So I really should put something underneath my palm, otherwise I'll be smudging. And this is why really you should be starting your drawing from this side rather than that side. But, you know, I like to break the rules. So that would be where the eye would be, I'd say. I'm not going to put in too much detail for the eye, to be honest. Just a little bit. I'll do a lot more detail in pen, because this is going to be another one of those pen drawings I'm going to do. I think there'd be like a bit of a bony ridge around there, because it's got a little nasal hollow in the skin, so a little hollow in the bone. So I'm going to erase that bit of bone line, so it's got more of that kind of the look of indentation without it looking like there's actually a hole there. So I've got that. I'm going to do the same thing for that part. I'm going to draw in the back of its head. And the jaw kind of goes like that, I'd presume. Seems to have quite a thicker jaw than the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. So do it like that. The shape of the mouth, the shape of the lower jaw more or less sticks to how it looks like in the skeleton, so you don't change it all that much. Going to put in a bit of a membrane there for the mouth. Gonna do the same thing around there. Draw a little bit of the... Around here is a hollow... in there would be a hollow part, but that's why we just make it black in there. And then we'll draw the kind of inside of the mouth a little bit. Draw its the top part of its skull and mouth. Draw the nose ridge like so. And unlike the Jurassic Park Spinosaurus, which has two ridges over its snout, this one appears to, well, this skeleton anyway, this particular skeleton I've found, seems to only have one, and it's more of a bump than a pointy ridge, and it seems to have three, seems to have a little bit of a spine on its head, to be honest. So, yeah. The other thing that I've noticed about this skeleton compared to the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park, its nose appears to be around here. However, in this skeleton, it's got a hole here, which I can only assume is its nostril. Unless there's a nostril hole in there somewhere. But no, I like how that's going. And its jaw kind of goes more like that, as opposed to up there. I'm going to give it a tongue, so I'm going to make its tongue come out there. I assume it had a tongue. I don't think fish have tongues. That's random and generic, but yeah. Now I'm just going to put in some of the teeth. Ooh, that is my phone's alarm. So I really need to get going soon. And also, the time on my clock on my computer is different to the time on the clock on my phone, so I really need to get a hurry on. So let's just quickly get these teeth in. I'll be able to make that walk in 45 minutes. Can usually make it in half an hour. It's got some big teeth at the front. It's probably for catching fish. These would be just for gripping it, but these would be for catching it, I'm assuming. Catching the fish. Catching the fish, keeping a hold of the fish. Can't get too distracted by the drawing, though, because I've got things to do, but I love drawing, so... just put in the teeth there, with how I see it in the skeleton. And then... yeah, its teeth get very tiny around in this part of the skeleton, so I can only assume that is for, you know, grabbing hold, like going for the bite for the fish to grab it in, because it looks like a club of big pointy things. And then once it's got the fish in its mouth, it probably uses the rest of the teeth to hold on to before it swallows it. I can only imagine that is the case. And speaking of the case, actually I'm gonna give it just a little bit. I'm gonna erase this part here, and I'm gonna give it more of a solid neck, like so, and give it a bit of a esophagus line, an esophagus line, and around here would be the muscles and tendon line. Connect that in with the rest of the body. Get some of those lines going around there, which would be the wrinkles because it moves its neck around. And I think that is pretty much done. 25 minutes. There you go. So far this thing has taken 30 minutes. All up, considering the last video. 30, or yeah, something like that. 35 minutes, 25. This video is 25 minutes. I'm going to try and finish it up here now. The next stage of this drawing will be naturally using this bad boy. So that will be coming up next. Will most likely be time-lapsed, but I will be drawing that part later. So for now, hopefully you've liked this. Hopefully you've learnt something. Hopefully you can draw another perspective view of a Spinosaurus, even if it is not maybe not scientifically correct as a Spinosaurus, but you know, still looks cool. But yes, before I start gas bagging on even more, I will finish that there. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Check out my other videos. I've got buttloads of dinosaurs for you to enjoy and learn from. And the next video after this one, not the next dinosaur, the next video will be me doing all the details in there, getting all the scales in there. And then I will probably do either an Allosaurus, a Carnotaurus, a Ankylosaurus, a Gallimimus, or whatever dinosaur I'm in the mood for at the time. The dinosaurs that you've requested will come up, because people have requested Spinosaurus, but you know, I'm just gonna do these dinosaurs as I'm in the mood for, and you guys can enjoy the show, the show and the journey. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll catch you all later. Bye.